Getting back on U.S. dirt, that was important. I knew if we got back on U.S. dirt, I can get home somehow, some way. I can drive. There were lots of things that I could do.
Back on U.S. soil, that's what a group of linemen from Ohio's Electric Cooperative were hoping for all of last week. After travel restrictions were put into place, congressional leaders and the U.S. State Department had to get involved to bring them back home. I spoke to two of them on FaceTime to hear their story. In a remote village in Guatemala, 16 linemen from Ohio flew down in early March to do some good work.
There was two villages there that we were looking to electrify for the first time. These folks have never had electricity. We were down there to bring a new kind of lifestyle to their homes and their families, and hopefully to make the future generations' lives a much more advanced and a much more easier way of life.
Father of four, Kyle Hoffman, and dad of two boys, Sean Luellen, left their own families to help others. But about a week into their mission, as new travel restrictions were put into place, they learned that coming back home might be tough.
The big issue was they did close down the border. They put last Monday at midnight, they said we were closing down the borders from all commercial flights and things like that. So we obviously knew we would be in trouble.
Up till April 30th is what we were hearing, that we could possibly be stuck there.
I mean, the biggest thing was getting the Guatemalan government to allow us to leave. They had to give us permission to leave. And then we needed to get permission from the states and Miami to land.
To make that even possible, U.S. congressional leaders and the State Department had to step in and work with the Guatemalan government. All this while the linemen continued their work.
Honestly, health-wise, we were in a great place. But our families is what we were worrying about, like what's going on back home. Because although we were hearing about it, until you come home and see it with your own eyes, which I now have been able to do, it's unfathomable.
Back home, amid a coronavirus pandemic, some good news finally came through. A private charter plane would answer their prayers.
The only thing that I was waiting for was the wheels to leave the ground in Guatemala. That I wasn't never 100% in until the wheels were up off the ground, and I thought, okay, this is actually going to go.
But it did, along with a warm welcome home.
Just pulling up and seeing them standing there was just, my heart just sank because, at that point in time, I knew I was home. From the bottom of my heart, I can't thank them enough for getting all 16 of us back home safe.
I was so excited to see my wife and family. I mean, obviously that is what I live for, and they're the ones that make me who I am every day. And to come home and see my wife and to see my kids, and that was a big deal.
And now that they're back, safe with their families, they're thinking of those who they helped. A life-changing trip and a mission accomplished.
The opportunities that we gave them and the hope that we gave them that they can have a better life for their children.
My main number one goal was to try to help them get the lights on. We were able to do that. And right before I left, the day before we left, I seen a brand new newborn baby laying on a bed in a village, in a hut. I mean, in just this little hut of a house in Guatemala. And I looked at that baby and I said, we're changing this person's stars forever. I mean, they will never know a life without power and electricity. And what a gift.
How great is that? I am so honored to have been able to tell their story and of the good work that they're doing. Among those who helped bring the men back home were Congressional Representative Troy Balderson, Bob Gibbs, Bill Johnson, and Bob Latta, and as well as Senators Rob Portman and Sherrod Brown. The linemen were able to provide electricity to about 90 homes as well as schools and churches there in Guatemala. The co-op staff also raised $32,000 to purchase shoes, water filtration systems, and school supplies for those who live in the village. Well,